Hi guys, today I will be sharing how to make cookies and cream dream cake. This is a very special cake that I created especially if you want to have a different variation from a normal chocolate dream cake. This is so good, and if you want to learn how to make it, keep on watching. First thing we're going to do is to make the cookies and cream pudding. And the ingredients are half a cup of cream, 2 cups of fresh milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1½ tablespoon of butter, 3 egg yolks, 3 tablespoons of corn flour or cornstarch, 1/3 cup of sugar, and this is 12 pieces of Oreos. First thing we're going to do is to crush the Oreos. You can use a food processor to do this process, or you can just use a mallet or a rolling pin to crush the Oreos. By the way, you can increase or decrease this amount. It's up to you. Set this aside. In a pot, combine the sugar, the corn flour or cornstarch, the milk. From here, start whisking the cream, add the 3 egg yolks, salt. Now we're going to move on to a stove with the heat setting medium to low heat, and we're going to continuously stir this until the custard or the pudding thickens up. This will not take long. And once it thickens up, we can take it out of the heat. Keep in mind, this will get thicker as it cools down. So to this, we're going to add the butter and the vanilla. And finally, we're going to add the crushed Oreos. So I add all the crushed Oreos, but again, like I said, you can decrease or increase this amount. Then we're going to transfer this immediately into a bowl. Cover this with cling wrap. Make sure that the cling wrap is touching the surface of the custard or pudding. Let it sit in the fridge while we're making the next step. White chocolate ganache. Ingredients are 200 grams of white baking chocolate and 100 ml of cream. All we need to do is to melt this in the microwave 1 minute using 15-second interval. Put this in the fridge as well. Now we're making the chocolate shards. So I measured the diameter of the pan, and then I melted about 180 grams of white chocolate. To this, I'm going to spread this in the parchment paper. And we will let this set in the fridge or at room temperature. So with this cake, we're making 5 layers, just like the chocolate dream cake. Now Oreo crumbs for dusting. This time I'm using the food processor. That's 14 pieces of Oreos. We just need the Oreos to be small enough to pass through a sieve or sifter. Now we're making the chocolate cake. We need 1½ teaspoon of instant coffee, half a cup of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 eggs, 1½ cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of Dutch processed cocoa powder. This is 1 cup of hot boiling water. I haven't put it yet. I'll put it later. Half a cup of oil, 3/4 cup of buttermilk. If you can find buttermilk, I'll put in the description box on how to make it at home. 1½ cups of plain flour or all-purpose flour. So combine the flour, the Dutch processed cocoa powder, salt, baking powder, baking soda, and then sift this. To this, we're going to add the sugar. Now, crack in the 2 eggs, the buttermilk, give it a mix. By the way, this cake recipe is the same as the dream cake. Now add the oil. By the way, your oven should be preheated at 180 degrees Celsius at this point. Add the vanilla. Finally, combine the instant coffee and the 1 cup of hot boiling water, and then immediately add this to the cake batter. So this cake batter will make 3 9-inch cake. So this is now ready to be baked. Make sure that there is no lumps. So I'm dividing the cake batter into tin. This is just a chocolate tin that I collected during Christmas. It is safe to use as long as there's no paint inside. And then we're going to bake these in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes, or until when you insert the skewer in the middle and the skewer comes out clean. And this is what it looks like after baking. This has cooled out completely, so we're ready to put the ganache on top. So as you can see, my ganache has thickened up significantly. So divide the ganache evenly into the 3 cakes and spread it. This will be the barrier between the cake and the Oreo goo. Mix the Oreo goo so it goes back into a one smooth mixture. Now we're going to add the goo on top of the ganache. Make it a little bit thick. Now we're going to add the white chocolate shards. Now we're going to add the Oreo crumbs. Let this sit in the fridge for at least an hour before consuming. And this is the finished product. I want you to hear the sound of the chocolate when you're trying to crack it. Hope you enjoy this. This is really good. I can guarantee that you're gonna love this. Please do share your photos with me on Facebook and on Twitter. Same name, My Sweet Ambitions. Can you see the goo here? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you do like this video. Subscribe and click the notification bell so you will be updated with every videos that I share.